Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to the Team Fit Revolution weekly call. My name is Lauren Kaliski. I am the founder of Team Fit Revolution and I'm super excited because tonight we have a guest speaker on the team call, so I'm going to try to keep this brief. I've just got a couple quick announcements and things to share. And then I'm going to toss it over to Alexis, who is going to be talking all about how she uses Instagram to build her business. And like more specifically, obviously we've done calls on Instagram in the past, but what she's doing right now, because things are always kind of changing and you have to constantly be evolving as they are changing. So I think this is going to be a super helpful call for all of you that are on live or watching the recording. Go grab, here comes Marley. Go grab your notepads, and I got my notepad ready to go. Go grab a pen, anything else you're going to need so that you can be here now and be present on the team call. Okay, so just a couple things super duper quick. Well, first of all, we've got the launch of a new product tomorrow. The beach bars officially launch. Hi, Bubs. And I'm super excited because I feel like I've been hoping, wishing, praying, asking for a bar for a really long time. And now we finally have one. And can't wait to try it first and foremost. And I hope that you do the same, because the best way to know about these things and see how it compares to other bars on the market is to try it firsthand. So that being said, the beach bars are also our April product of the month. So if you order beach bars this month, just one box of them or more is totally fine. You'll be entered into the product of the month giveaway, and I'll be giving away a box of beach bars. You pick the flavor at the end of the month to everyone who orders beach bars this month. So definitely have your eyes peeled for that launch tomorrow. I think it's going to launch somewhere around noon PST. So if you're on the East Coast, it'll be a little bit later. And if you're in the UK, it'll be at night. So those will launch tomorrow. A couple things really quickly, just about beach bars and ordering them. So shipping is kind of, let's say, not very cost effective on the beach bars. So the best way to order beach bars along with everything else is really on HD. And the thing about beach bars is I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong if anyone knows, but they only come on HD when you get 3 boxes of bars. So you have to order 3 boxes of bars. Oh my gosh, Marley, please stop. You're really typing on my keyboard and doing all sorts of stuff. So in order to get the HD shipping price, you got to order the 3 boxes. That is the best value. That's going to be the lowest cost per bar. And I just wanted to make sure that was on everyone's radar so that, if it's something that you plan on giving to your kids or eating regularly, stock up in bulk and you're going to save the most. Other super exciting thing happening this weekend is Super Saturday. Who's going to Super Saturday? I'm going to go to the gallery view. Raise your hand if you're going to Super Saturday. Woo! I'm going with Cameo, who's on the call. We're driving down to Seattle for that event. Hey girl, hey. So type in the chat box, let us know what Super Saturday you're going to. Oh, Chris Downing's going to be in Philly. Definitely a little jealous of that one. Chris Downing is one of my favorite super trainers to work out with. He's just everything I need and so much more. So get to Super Saturday. Oh my gosh, this dog is just all over me right now. So get to Super Saturday because it's going to be a great event as always. They'll be talking about beach bars. They'll be talking about Joel's new program that's launching. And who knows what else Beachbody has up their sleeve, because trust me, they always got something up their sleeve, okay? So those are the 2, I guess, most important things to have on your radar is the launch of beach bars and Super Saturday. Can't wait. Okay, so now to introduce Alexis and toss it over to her. Alexis was my 3rd coach that I signed up. And I will say it's not very typical for your 1st, 2nd, or 3rd coach to still be around. And so Alexis is literally the OG. She is an OG coach. She's been coaching almost as long as I have. And we have learned and grown together over the years. Our relationship has, our businesses have. It's really been just quite a trip. And I'm so freaking grateful that I get to do life and business with Alexis because she inspires the crap out of me. And she's just come so far since when I met her on Instagram, like over 5 years ago. Oh my God, it's like crazy to think about. And anytime I think about it, it just blows my mind because you continue to blow my mind every single day, girlfriend. And that's why I'm so excited to have you on the call tonight. Alexis is a 4-star diamond coach. She's a Success Club All-Star legend. She's currently at 40 months in a row at Success Club. So talk about consistency over the long haul. This girl does it. She's earned 3 free trips with Beachbody Success Club trips. I think, Cancun was your first one, right? Or no, it was the cruise. It was with Pat. Yeah, okay. And I remember that because we went to Jamaica. We were on a mission to get some authentic jerk chicken, and let me tell you, that chicken was bomb. So she's earned 3 free trips, which is so cool. I know she's also like been able to travel so much more thanks to Beachbody. She's a 6-figure earner, an Insanity Live instructor, and an all-around badass coach. So I'm gonna just toss it all over to you, Alexis, and let you take it away.
Okay, sorry, I was like seeing if I was unmuted or not. Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for that awesome introduction. I'm excited to share with you all some stuff about Instagram. I know Instagram can be a little bit of a pain in the butt with the algorithms and whatnot. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about tonight, just because I have to include it, because, obviously there's probably some coaches on the team that are either watching live or watching the recording that aren't so familiar with Instagram just yet and haven't heard all of these things. So some of the stuff I might talk about, you might have already heard. Some of the stuff you may not have heard of. And a lot of things you probably have heard but haven't implemented, which is probably most of the things. So that's why I'm still going to talk about them, because a lot of times we hear those calls and we're like, wow, that's really great information. And then we never do it. So my biggest piece to say to you before I even get into the call is take one thing that you learn from tonight, because we know you're not going to do every single thing, because who's going to do that? That's a lot of stuff to do. But take one thing and do it well. Pick it, write it on a sticky note. Like if there's ever something, like you always hear those things like on the National Wake Up Call and you write a ton of notes. But if there's ever something like, okay, I'm going to write these notes and I'm probably not going to look at these. I need to write this on a sticky note and stick it on my computer, stick it somewhere where I'm going to see it. So I make sure to do that so I get some stuff done. So with my journey in Instagram, I started with, I think, like 8 followers. I was one of those people that was like, Instagram is silly, I don't want to use it. And then obviously I got more into it, and now I absolutely love it. It's where I do most of my business. It's where I meet, like, I used to say like 95%, but I can probably say I find like 98.9% of everyone I work with through Instagram. I use my Facebook like page and I still share on it, to post on it. Like I do everything, but I don't even remember the last time I found somebody through another thing. Like it's like strictly Instagram. Like I don't even really do a lot of friends and family. People sometimes come to me, but like I'm just not one of those people that reaches out to my friends and family and builds. I want to build locally, so when I move, I'm going to do that. But Instagram's great for that. So number one, you guys know this. A lot of the stuff I'm going to say you've heard before, but you have to understand that this stuff takes time. So anything that I suggest, I've suggested different things to different coaches because different things are going to work for different people. So sometimes I've gone to a coach and I've suggested, hey, why don't you start doing this? Or why don't you try this? And then they come back to me and they're like, oh yeah, like I tried that thing you were saying and it just doesn't seem to work. I'm like, okay, how long have you been doing it for? They're like, 3 weeks. Like, okay, well, this stuff takes a lot longer than that. And that might seem like a long time for some of you, but if you're in this for the long haul, which I hope that you are, because this business is a long haul business, you're going to want to make sure that you're doing this stuff for the long haul. When I test something out on Instagram and when I try something, I'm minimum like doing it for like 2 months because I'm going to be here regardless. And it's either I'm going to try it for 3 weeks and then not really know if it works and then move to something else and never know, was that going to work or was it not going to work? I'm not really going to know. I don't really know. So you have to test this stuff out and you have to kind of track it. I'm not saying you have to have an Excel sheet and all that stuff because like the only thing I have an Excel sheet for is for like my budgeting stuff and that's it. But just having something that you kind of know what's going on with that. So Another tip before I kind of get into everything is to stop worrying about the numbers. It's about the numbers, but it's not about the numbers. And what I mean by that is I pay attention to my engagement to see how the algorithm's working at the moment, because on average, my videos can get like anywhere from like 30,000, like 20,000 to 30,000 views. That's like on a really good day. I posted a video the other day and it got 400 views. So like, and I say those numbers because again, it's about the numbers, but it's not about the numbers. I say those numbers because I'm aware of them and I'm seeing, I've got to, look, is it more the algorithm? Is what I'm posting not good content? Like I got to kind of figure that out. So you want to pay attention to the numbers, but don't worry about them. The amount of likes doesn't matter. The amount of people that are like following you, none of that necessarily matters, as long as you're putting out good content. And the way you can kind of work the algorithm and manipulate it will help you out. And number 3, consistency has to be key. Anything I teach you tonight, it will not matter if you're not consistent with it and with sharing on social media. And now, supposedly, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Instagram's going back to chronological order. I've heard that they're doing that soon. I've read tons of articles about it. Really excited about it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but supposedly that's happening. Yeah, Lauren, like you could Google it. You'll see a bunch of things. I don't know when, but supposedly it's going back to chronological order. So recently, before when I started coaching, it was post as many times on your page because more people will see your stuff. Then once the algorithm changed, it was like, dude, like don't even post more than like once a day. Now Instagram story is totally different story, and I'm going to talk about that, but posting on your actual page is different. But now if it's going to go back to chronological order, then we might want to go back to sharing more often each day. Like instead of 1 to 2 times, more like 2 to 3 times, even 4 times, depending. And that's what I'm going to test out. When the algorithm changes, if it really does, and it goes back to chronological order, you better believe I'm going to post like 3 to 4 times a day. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to figure out, what works and what doesn't, but I'm going to test it out because I want to see what works. And I'm never going to know what works if I don't test it out. But you have to be consistent in everything that you're doing. A lot of times I see coaches and they are like, oh, I'm going to work my business, but like I had family come in, I wasn't able to do anything and I haven't posted on social media in a while. And then they hop back into it and they expect that things are just going to click right back in. But this business and social media is all about momentum. If you don't post, you lose traction, and basically Instagram looks at you, and Facebook too looks at your stuff as irrelevant, because it's like, you haven't been here, people haven't been liking your stuff. It's really not relevant. We're not really going to push it out. So you have to work. You basically, you stop posting, you do all these things, you take like 3 steps back, and it takes you so much longer to get going. Now, I'm not saying that as like in a Debbie Downer way, like, oh, you have to share every single day, and if you miss it, you're going to screw up your life. I don't mean it like that, but it's just very important that for me, if I'm like going through a lot of stuff or I'm really busy, if there's one thing I make sure I do, obviously you want to make sure that you're doing your invites and your follow-up. But in terms of social media, I make sure that I am trying to share at least a few things on social media just so I don't lose that momentum and that consistency. So kind of getting into what you're sharing, 3 things that I wrote down are intention, purpose, and actual work, like the work that you're putting into it. So ask yourself the questions, are you doing it just to get done? And I know that so many of you are doing this. You are just sharing on social media because Lauren told you that you should post on social media, and you're like, okay, I just got to mark that off my to-do list and I got to get it done. But if you just do that and you just like are like, oh, okay, I got to get it done, and then you're done, you're like, okay, another thing off my checklist. The energy that's in that post, nobody's going to pay attention to it. No one's going to be interested in it. I'm not saying you have to sit and spend 45 minutes making an Instagram post, but the way social media is anymore, it's not just share a cute picture of your baby with like a little tiny caption at the bottom. You have to have some kind of reason why you're sharing it. Now, you don't have to go into this like whole sob story or like this super long caption. Like, I tend to use long captions, and I know not everybody reads captions, but my lifers do. And people will tell me that all the time because I know I put long captions, and like I can't tell you how many times a week I get an email that says, hey girl, I love your page. I read all of your long captions. Like, so I know they're long, but I know that the people that connect with me are going to read them anyway. Now, I do try to keep some short, but I tend to do longer captions. But anyway, I like to connect with people and make sure that I'm sharing a reason or have a reason for why I'm sharing something. So I think it's really important to just make sure that you know, if you're sharing, somebody gave this really good example, and I think it was on like a national wake up call or something. They talked about sharing like a picture of your kid and, you know, like your kid in the back seat, like eating a banana, and you're like on the way to work or something like that, where you could switch that around and you make it be, you know, every single day I go to work, I look at this kid and it motivates me to be able to do this full time or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't always have to be coaching. It doesn't always have to be health and fitness, but just finding a way that you can share, like, you know, something in your personal development or something along those lines. And you guys know this too, you've probably heard it 1,000 times, but again, something you're probably not doing is, are you speaking to everyone? When you share, if you speak to everyone, you're going to speak to no one. And a lot of new coaches tend to do this, and there's nothing wrong with it. You just got to learn from it. Is that you just can't, like, in theory, I would love to help everybody. I would love to help more guys, and I would love to help, you know, people that aren't necessarily in my niche market, but I'm, you know, might want to connect with them. But it's easier, and your posts are going to get more traction and engagement when you are speaking to a specific person. When someone can look at your post and be like, dude, like, oh my God, that is me. Like, people comment on my post and be like, are you reading my mind right now? Like, that's my goal. I want people to feel like I am inside their head. Like, I'm inside your head. I know what you're thinking. So whether you connect with them, like, you know, and something that actually, and I wrote down, I wanted to share this. I was really afraid, not afraid to share me, because I've always been a TMI, super vulnerable person. Like, I will tell a homeless person like my deepest, darkest secrets. I'm like very not a personal person. I just feel like I can connect with people, and that's fine with me. But I was afraid to kind of share some of my other interests, because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to connect with people. So for example, I'm very into music, and I'm very into music festivals, but the kind of music that I like isn't the kind of music that everybody listens to. Like, I listen to like dubstep and techno and house, and I was like, I feel like if I share that, some people, like people who like might be into health and fitness, but like might listen to like country music and be like, what is this girl listen to robot noises? Like, what is this music? And I was really afraid to share it for a while. But once I was just like, you know what? I'm sharing my music. Some people probably don't know what it is, but that's okay. I have like my last, like, I feel like 10 coaches have been people that love music festivals. We can talk about all of the same things. And like, I was afraid of sharing those things for like the silliest reasons. Cause I was like, I don't really know if like I really want like health and fitness people, but like it took me a bit to kind of weed through the people who really weren't interested in it. But there were a lot of people that like go to music festivals and like, you know, do all the things that I do and still are interested in health and fitness. So whatever that might be for you, and this is going to bring me to my next point about getting to the explore page that will help benefit you. Now, I've grown my Instagram. I like pictures every single day. That really helps. I know it seems so manual, and like there used to be bots that could do it, but now bots will get you shadow banned. If you don't know what shadow banned is, it basically, Instagram sees your account as something that's using a bot, and it won't delete your account, but it will shadow ban you. And it means that only your followers can see your posts. So even if you use 100 hashtags on your picture, you won't show up in the hashtags and no one can see you except for your followers. So you don't want to do anything that's going to get you shadow banned. So like, I still go into my Instagram every day and like try to like as many pictures as I can. I recommend liking 500 pictures a day. Sounds like a lot. Hear me out. 500 pictures. That's 100 pictures in a hashtag. Do you know how quickly you pick 5 hashtags, go to the search button and say RX bar, you know, scroll, double tap, scroll, double tap, scroll, double tap. You can do about 100 pictures in a minute. So 500 pictures a day takes you about 5 minutes. If you were to do that and you liked 500 pictures a day and the hashtags that you liked, I know it seems so like medieval. I remember doing that when I was a brand new coach, but I still do that today. Still. And it just puts me in people's feeds. It might not, you know, be the most genius way of doing things, but like I've just still always have done that. But when it comes to sharing whatever it is that you like, let's say you like knitting. Like, I think knitting is the most boring thing ever, but you're not speaking to me. Maybe you really are like into knitting and you're going to connect with people that like are like, oh my gosh, I just knitted the best sweater yesterday. And you're like, me too. And you're going to connect on knitting. And I personally would have no interest in that, but the people that are going to have that connection. So when you really pick like a thing that you're interested in, whether you know a lot about it or you just like talking about it, and you really dive into those hashtags and interact with those people and try to use those hashtags on your pictures and like those hashtags and get in there, you could end up being a part of the explore page. So for me, I luckily got a part of this. Now you can be in the like explore page in terms of somebody like Instagram can do that, like videos you may be interested in, but I'm a part of a category called the ravers category. It's like music festivals and like music and stuff like that. But I spent so much time just sharing my shuffle videos and my music interests and all of those things that had nothing to do with health and fitness. And then eventually Instagram had emailed me, and it wasn't like I had a ton of followers. I had like maybe 9,000 followers at the time, and I have about 17,000 now. And they were like, hey, we're going to put your stuff in the explore page. You're going to be in the ravers category. So now I will have posts that are like health and fitness related, but they just happen to go in the ravers category because my account is there. And now it took me a long time to get there. But like, if you're into fashion, maybe you're really into fashion. Like I love fashion Instagrams, like love them. My sister goes to fashion school. Like I love when they post their little cute outfits. Oh my gosh, I love it. And so like, I love those Instagrams. Now, if you're really into fashion, you could share that. That has zero to do with health and fitness. But if you really, and this is like a project, you need to spend time in the fashion, using the fashion hashtags, liking and interacting with the top, maybe not like the people with like 5 billion, Instagram followers, but like interacting. And I'm going to talk about Gary Vaynerchuk's $80 strategy when it comes to this, but interacting with that community. And you basically, and again, this is like a manifestation thing. You kind of put yourself into that and you never know what can happen, because getting into that explore page really will help you. Maybe you're into making baby food. Maybe you like to swaddle babies. Maybe you like to walk dogs. I don't know, but find something and really make sure that like every few posts and like every day on your Instagram story, you're talking about it. You're using the hashtags in the Instagram story. Okay. So obviously having themes, that's kind of what I've already talked about, but speaking to someone and not just it. And when I say speak to someone, it has to not be health and fitness related. Like, even though you could do like, maybe you're vegan and you're speaking to those people, not even that. It has to be really specific because you're going to attract those people, I'm telling you. So think of something that is not health and fitness related, completely separate. And like, I talk to people all the time and they're like, I don't really know what I'm into. You're into something, you just have to think about it. Just really, really take some time to think about it. So when it comes to hashtags, obviously using the hashtags on your pictures are really important. I still, to this day, even though this seems like common knowledge, see coaches that are using the basic hashtags. Don't use hashtag fitness. Don't use hashtag vegan. Use hashtag vegan breakfast recipes. Something super specific. I use very specific hashtags, and I have the bunches of hashtags. I put them in my pictures, but I use very specific ones, and I try to change them every few months, because if you don't change them, again, Instagram will shadow ban you because you're using the same hashtags for multiple times in a row. And that's when your stuff doesn't get seen, because it's like, okay, this person has used the hashtag vegan recipe on their page for 17 months in a row. They must be spam. Even though you're not, it's like how Instagram works. So really important to make sure that you're doing that. Location. I feel like this has been huge for me growing my Instagram, and you can use it in so many different ways. There should never be a picture that goes up onto your page that does not have a location tag on it. Whether you put, where I recommend putting different places. I live in Wilmington, but I put Wilmington, Newark, Philly. Sometimes I'll randomly put like Maryland in there. I'm about to move to Miami, so I'm like using all the different, like Brickell, Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, like all those different places. And I just randomly put it in there. And I get people all the time that are like, I found you through the location hashtag, like legit found me that way. I also do them on my Instagram story. I try to put a location tag on every single Instagram story. And that's a lot to remember, but you have to create a habit. You can say, Alex, I'm not going to remember to do that. Okay, you can say you're not going to, and then you don't grow your Instagram. Or you can say, I'm going to put a sticky note on my computer that says location hashtag. Put an alarm on your phone that says I do that all the time. If there's a habit I want to create, but I haven't done it yet, I will set an alarm that says, like for me, I wanted to really remember to start using QuickBooks each week for like my tax stuff, but I always forgot to do it. So I literally set a reminder that went off like at noon every day that said, keep receipts for QuickBooks or do this for QuickBooks or whatever. So if you're going to forget that, set an alarm that goes off every day, 8 a.m. that says, use location tags on Instagram story, and do it for like a month. You'll create that habit. So what I do, and I do so many different places, and places that are like, I feel like my people. So like Denver, like a lot of mountainy type of places, do like Brooklyn, like places that I visited that I like. And I just when you go in your Instagram story and you can pick a sticker, put the location tag, and I make it really, 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 really small, and I just hide it behind some text. But sometimes I'll put it there, and like sometimes people will message me like, oh, I didn't know you were from this area. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. I just like put that there and like start a conversation somehow about it. But like that rarely happens. But when you do that, you pop up on the explore page, but in the story side of it. So if there's a certain area, like just use different places. I use like so many different places, and then I will use like random locations of like health food stores and things like that. And you can also go through the location tag to find people and whatnot. But I really think that that's a huge piece of my success in growing my Instagram and growing the views on my Instagram stories, because I constantly use a location tag on, I don't remember obviously every single time, but anytime I remember, location tag is going on there. Workout things, if I'm going on a rant, like anything, there's no like rule to it. Just try to use it as many times as you can, but just hide it so no one can see it. What else? So in terms of Instagram stories, right now with the algorithms, you really only want to be posting 1, maybe 2 times. And that's why you can spend a little bit more time. Like, to be honest, and I know back in the day, this was frowned upon to spend this much time, but I probably take 30 minutes to make my Instagram post, but I'm only posting once a day. So like I set aside time and I know what I'm going to say and I type it up and I make the, the emojis and the whatever and the graphics. Now, maybe not 30 minutes. That might be a little extensive, but because I'm only doing that, I try to put a good amount of effort and I try to really think about what I want to share. But when it comes to Instagram stories, guys, share all the time. And I've worked with coaches. I tell them to share all the time. Then I go to their Instagram story and they have like 4 little bars at the top. I recommend that you have like a minimum of 10 a day. The more you share in your Instagram story, the better. You're going to always be one of the first bubbles that pops up. Now you have to be one of the first bubbles. You not only have to be sharing a lot, but you have to be an account that someone checks a lot. So it really helps to share a lot, because if you don't share a lot, you're not ever going to pop in there. People aren't going to select your thing. So I share just everything. Sometimes I share stuff and I'm like, I probably didn't need to share that, but I'd rather share more than not. Use the GIF stickers to your advantage. Get creative with it. And if you're like, I'm not creative, well, if you say you're not creative, then you're never going to work on it. It's just like me saying I'm bad at math. I always say I'm bad at math. I'm never going to get good at math because I never work at it. If you're not creative, just practice. Just look at some other people's things. Don't try to compare yourself. Just kind of like mess around with different things. And again, obviously making sure that you're using the location, and use the hashtag sticker as well. I also try to use hashtags in almost every single post, because then it just randomly pops up in people's Instagram stories. And now, I don't know if you guys saw, I just saw this today. You know how you can turn post notifications on? Now you can turn on Instagram story notifications for someone. So what I'm going to do, at least maybe once a week, I'm going to screenshot that thing and say, if you want to follow if you want to, keep updated with my stories, make sure you turn that on. Now somebody might turn that off if I'm sharing like 100 times, but who knows? We'll see. Again, just something I'm trying out. But you got to let people know about these things with your Instagram stories. Call to actions of any sort is obviously really, really beneficial. I like to do a call to action. I know, Emma, I just saw it today. I was like, whoa. I try to do call to actions that aren't just like me saying, hey, do you want to join my group? Like I try to like tie something in. If I get an objection, and like I am very much a scheduled person when it comes to my day. I have a very bad ADHD. I swear I'm like working on it and it's getting worse. It's like the weirdest thing. So like I cannot get like derailed. So I can't just like open Instagram for fun. Like I use it for my story and that's it. So like I really do everything. Like I check all my Facebook messages at once and all my Facebook notifications at once. And then once I'm done with it, I don't even go into Facebook until later on in the day. But when it comes to my Instagram stories, that's my one rule. I'm allowed to just open it whenever I want. So if somebody gives me an objection, I'm like, I immediately open my story and I'm like, let me just talk about this. Let me rant. And I'm like, somebody told me today. And then I go on like maybe like a 3 or 4 story rant. And then I'll maybe finish it with like a call to action. Like, have you ever thought this too? Or did you know this? You know what I mean? Like I try to turn an objection or a story into something where I can kind of talk about either coaching or what I'm doing or something like that. Obviously your story should be sharing a bunch of other things as well, but that's kind of what I do. Also, I talked about this at the leadership retreat with Lauren, but honestly, and the last part of this, I'll kind of talk more about the building relationships in Instagram type of thing, but I can say Pretty much. I get most of my Success Club points, and I usually hit Success Club 20 every month, minimum. Last month I hit 14. I was really mad at myself. But I get most of my Success Club points and the people that get either join my team or join my groups from Instagram story polls and a certain post that I share on my page. So the post I share on my page, I got it from Raina Odell. She talks about all the time, you can use it if you want, but she says, and she's just honest, don't use it if you don't have a transformation, because it just won't have as much oomph. And it's not anything, like it's not like, oh, you have to have a transformation to do it, but it just doesn't really make too much sense. But you can go to my page. I don't know. It's probably my last before and after, but it basically says, actually I could probably share my screen because I have my Instagram up, which I wanted to share anyway. Can you guys see this? Is it good? Okay. So, where's my last before and after? And I do this twice a month, and I get a lot of people from it. Now I have more followers, so I do tend to get a lot of things, but this is the phrase. It says, I'm looking for women only. I'm looking for 15 women that want to transform their bodies, lives, and especially mindset. Now I changed this a little bit from what Raina Odell said, but and lose at least 10 pounds or just feel healthy, because it's not all about the scale. She didn't put that in there. I did, because I'm not about the scale. You'll be provided with a 30-day meal plan, workout to follow, recipes, daily challenges. You'll be in a private group where you get daily accountability, motivation, prizes. Drop a blue emoji below. Never ask for someone's email, because Instagram blocks emails now, and you can no longer see if someone drops their email as a comment, you won't even see it. And if you tell somebody to message you, they're not going to message you. So tell them to drop an emoji, blue emoji, animal emoji, plant emoji, food emoji. They will drop an emoji super quick doing that. And I get so many more comments just from people doing that. And again, I have a lot more followers, but I do this and I usually get at least 20 to 30 people to message. So I always do that. And then in my Instagram story, I always do polls. So I do polls a lot. I try not to have like 10 polls in a day, but like I will do a lot of my polls, and I always do, do you want more information, and I try to word it in a way that's not, do you want to join my group? Now I still do that, but I try to make sure that they're a little bit different sometimes. So like, for example, I can't really think of it. My brain is so fried from Mercury being in retrograde. So like, sorry if I'm all over the place. I don't know if I am, but like I'm like a hot mess right now. So I can't really think of a better example. But the one example I can think of is I was talking about going on the Success Club. This is a coaching one. I was talking about going on the Success Club trip, and how like I'm so grateful that like before Beachbody, like I never really traveled. Like I've been in like a few states and that was it. But now I've been outside of the country. Like I've done so many things, and like I get to take my boyfriend for free. Like that is so awesome that not only do I get to earn the trip, but I get to take him. And so I went on like a little rant, like talking about the things. And I always love doing a rant with a poll at the end. And then I say, I think I said, instead of saying like, would you want to join my team? I said, does the idea of helping people feel better or something like, does the idea of helping a few people a month to help you earn a free trip to be able to take your significant other sound like something that's really freaking awesome? And I put like, oh my God, I would love to do that. Or like, maybe, I don't know, or something like that. And never say no. I always put like, because I send the people the same message every single time. But then I just, and usually get a few people to message, and I do that. And I do that like a few times a week. So each week I'm getting new people to message, and they usually always come from polls. So it's a little less of me having to go find people. Now, again, I always want to preface this with, I do have a bigger following, but as you're continuing to do all the other things I'm talking about, it will help to do that. And you have to do polls often. You can't just do a poll once or twice in a week and be like, Alexis, I did your poll thing, and like I had one person answer. You have to do it. It's like a billboard. People have to see it multiple times. They see your poll. They see it all the time. Or maybe they didn't log into Instagram on a Thursday, but they logged in on a Monday, and they happen to see your poll then. So sometimes it's just people see it at the right time. So I just try to do it multiple different ways. Yeah, polls definitely work. So, and then another thing I do, I'm pretty sure everybody does this, maybe not, but I always give this challenge to my team. This is, I guess, the third way I get a lot of my people. I always do a transformation Tuesday. A tip I got from somebody was that, when you look at your Instagram, and you look at, like, you go to just the page, and you can see, this is not adjusting, but you can only see, like, if you with the bio at the top, you can only see like the first 2 lines. There are the first 3 lines or whatever. They said to make sure that there's always a before and after in those like 6 boxes. So somewhere in there, when someone comes to your page, because they briefly look at it, they need to see a before and after, because what's more eye-catching than a before and after? So I always try to make sure, like right now I don't, but I try to make sure that I usually like, so I'll probably post something tomorrow, and make sure that there's a before and after there, because that's the people are more likely to see it. So I always make sure that's there first. And 2, I usually do the transformation. And then at the end of the transformation, I always say, like this, if you blah, 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 blah. And then I put something random, but I say, like, if you this. So then the next day I revisit the page and I send a message to every single person that liked it. And I say, hey girlfriend, thank you so much for liking my post about my story. It's not always easy to share, but I really appreciate the love. I was actually checking, like, did you actually want more information on my group, or were you just liking for support? Like, no big deal if you didn't, just didn't want to leave you hanging. And I send that message, like, just saying that, like, I could recite that in my sleep. I send that every week. Usually when I do my transformation, I do my transformation Tuesday post on Tuesday. I send the message on Wednesday, and then I send it to a bunch of people. And I do that. And that is like where I get a lot of the majority of my people from. So I know that's a little bit less of like building your Instagram and more just getting people, but trying to throw a bunch of different things out here. So yeah, that's really big ways that I find a lot of my people. And then another thing, obviously, is to make sure that you're pointing out your posts. When you make a post, on your page, always reference it on your Instagram story. And there's lots of different ways that you can do it. So you can just post the picture in your story and say, right, like new post over it. You can take a screenshot of your entire Instagram and like circle the spot and say new post. You can also, I don't know if this will show it, but if you go, let's see, if you click on a picture and you hold it, it brings it up like that. Then I screenshot that and then I show it that way as well. So just little different ways to show it, but really important that you reference it, because a lot of people watch your stories but don't see your posts. And if it's important for them to see your posts, you want to make sure you do that. Okay, so in terms of the building relationship side of it, you guys, I'm sure you've heard about like the whole formula that I've taught. I've done a lot of calls on it. I mean, a lot of coaches are doing it, but I have a specific formula that I teach my coaches in terms of using Instagram to build relationships. So it's build a contact list, reach out for the first time, build relationship, invite to free group, invite to challenge group, follow up. And that is the same process I follow with every single person. I teach my coaches to follow the same thing, and I build relationships that way. So obviously building a contact list is important. Finding people through hashtags, location tags. I love finding people through location tags. Wherever you live, let's say you live in Austin, go to Google and type top 10 health juice stores in Austin, Texas. Then find a place, go to Instagram, go to the location tag, and just scroll through and just go to random people's page. Find a post. Oh my God, girl, I just found your page going through the juice bar Austin hashtag or the location tag, and I saw that you tried the new pineapple mint smoothie. How was that? I've been wanting to try it. Oh my God, it looks so good. And I just start a conversation like that. I'm not inviting them anything. I'm not trying to get them to buy anything. I'm just starting a conversation. And you can do that with anything. Whether maybe you do it at a Lululemon in your area and you're like, oh my gosh, your butt looks so good in those blue leggings. Sorry if I'm a creeper, but like, I just had to say that. And like, and some people, I mean, I guess could find you as a creeper, but like, so most of the time, like girls are like, oh my God, yes, like, thank you so much. And I start so many fun conversations that way. So I always build my contact list. I tell my coaches minimum 15 people a week, because if you want to hit Success Club, then you need to invite at least 30 people in a month. And if you do 50 people a week, that gives you more than 30, then you're good to go. So 15 people, find them through hashtags, location tags, new followers, new likes. A thing I like to do, I teach this all the time. It's a really strange way I find people. But if you go to the Explore page on Instagram, Explore page. Oh wait, can I do this really quick? Hold on, let me try to do something really quick because I'm almost done here. And this might be really helpful for me to, okay. Screen mirroring, MacBook Pro. There we go. Okay. Share screen. Technology. There we go. Okay. So this is a really cool app. It's called Mirroring 360. Anyway, okay. So go to the Explore page, and then I just look for like a food picture that has like a lot of likes. So let's just make it super easy. We'll just search salad just so we can find something. Be like 10 million posts. Okay, so I look for a picture that looks like it's like really amazing and has a ton of likes. So perfect. So it has 835 likes. For some reason, the way Instagram is set up, when you click on the likes, it only shows you profiles that are similar to your profile. So for example, and even if those aren't the first people to like, so I click on the likes, it'll show you the people that liked it that you're following. So you know that right away. And then if you look at the other posts, I mean, this probably isn't a good example because I feel like this might not be in the US. This girl, let's try this girl. Okay, for example, there we go. So it's showing all the people that liked it that I'm following. So I know that they're into that. But like I can kind of go through the other pictures or the other Instagrams and you can see their other like fitness and health Instagrams. Now, not every single one of them are going to be, but a lot of them are. It's really weird. Of course, Instagram's probably not working with me, but like this girl, for example, boom, already found her. She's in the likes. She's from the UK. But it tends to give me a list of people that are already like health and fitness people. Obviously this is like not cooperating with me right now, but usually that's what it is. But it's weird, like the likes of the people in the popular page tend to be people that are health and fitness related. Another thing I do that's actually even more specific is I go to the comments. So look, there's 90 comments. Go to the comments. People who are commenting, number one, are active and interacting on Instagram, and they're most likely health and fitness people. So I like go to their page and like I can see what like the comments usually are people that are health and fitness people. Health and fitness people tend to comment on health and fitness people's posts. So like I will literally go in the comments of big Instagrams, like Instagrams that have like 10 million followers. I'm not going to reach out to them necessarily for them to join my team as a coach, but I'm going to go through their followers because they're not using it. So I'm going to use their people. And it's basically like a gold mine of a way to find people. So once I find my people and I have my list, I reach out to them and I just start a conversation and just flatter them. I'm just like, girlfriend, like your page is amazing. Like I love what you're doing. That oatmeal you posted the other day was awesome, whatever. And then from there, I just build the relationship. Those people where you're constantly commenting back and forth on their Instagram stories. You comment on their Instagram story, you comment on their posts, whatever. You just interact with them. And this is also something I forgot to talk about. I recommend picking 10 people like in a month period. That like obviously you're interacting with multiple people, but you should pick 10 people every month that every day you go to their page. Every day you go to their page and you interact with them. People who you want to join your team. This isn't like challengers. This is coach people. So people who are like, oh my gosh, I want this girl to be on my team, but you're not trying to invite them yet. You're just like commenting on at least a few of their pictures each day, commenting on the Instagram story, interacting with them somehow, because that's the best way to build a relationship. Because then when you do invite them, they're more likely to at least be interested in more information so you can kind of interact with them. Now, that doesn't go to say that I don't send cold coach invites because one of my coaches does it. I've been trying it and it's been working like magic. It's like the most amazing thing. But you want to have a balance between sending cold invites and sending regular invites. So then from there, I just build a relationship. Usually I try to invite them, actually all the time I try to invite them over to Facebook and just say, oh my gosh, like you're so awesome. Like, do you have a Facebook? I love like having positive stuff pop in my feed because a lot of people a lot of people are so negative. And yay, I'm glad Danielle's gonna be talking about that. I've been doing it. It's been working really well. And then from there, I know this may be against what some people say. Again, a lot of stuff that you guys learn is going to be different. Each coach does things differently. I personally almost never, if I'm actually invite someone to a group before I invite them to a free group. Like I never invite somebody to buy something from me unless they've been in a free group of mine. I never just say, hey, you should probably join my 80-day obsession group. I invite them to a free group first because I'm doing this process with so many people. It's never like, well, what do you do? Do you have anybody to invite to your group? Yeah, all the people that I invited to my free groups for the past 4 months. So once I interact with someone, then I just shoot them a message and I usually bulk invite all my people. Like I usually send about 60 invites a day in a month versus one invite every single day. And then I'm just like, hey, totally meant to mention this to you, but I don't know if you'd be interested. I'm having this free group. You're going to get a grocery list, meal plan. It's going to be really awesome. Let me know if you're interested. If not, no worries at all. And then I just send that same message to all the people I just did this whole process with to my free group. And then I get them into the free group. they enjoy the free group. They get to be a part of Clean Week or whatever. And then I send them an invite at the end of the group and is like, hey, and I always usually send a voice message. And I'm like, hey, and you can forward voice messages on Facebook. I talked to I think I said this at the retreat and some people didn't know. So in case anybody doesn't know, you send a voice message on Facebook Messenger. It pops up and next to it, there's a box with an arrow coming out of it. You click it, you can hit forward and you can send that voice message to like 100 people. So I will literally record the voice message and send it away to like 60 people. And I can get about 60 invites done in like a minute and 30 seconds. So I just bang my invites out and it takes the fear away from it. Cause you're not like, oh my gosh, I have to like open up their thing and then I got to figure out what I got to type. No, I just like record the message, send. And then I just send the voice message. It's like, oh my gosh, girl, thank you so much for being a part of my clean eating group. I hope that you liked it. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm always looking to get better. I wanted to let you know, we actually have another group that's coming up at the end of the month. It's a little bit more involved. We actually work a lot more on personal development. So if you want me to give you more information on that, I'd love to. If not, seriously, thank you so much for being a part of the clean eating group and I will talk to you soon. Most people want more information. I start talking to them about the group, get to know them a little bit better. And then from there, they either join or I follow up with them and I check in with them once a month, every month from there. And that's kind of how I do that. But that's like the whole, I know I'm kind of getting off on a tangent of building relationships, but I do all of that from Instagram and I interact with people all through Instagram and I do it that way. The last few parts, I know I'm like going a little long here. The last few little parts I want to talk about is, and Lauren said something about this, and I want to make sure it's important to note that you are interacting with your followers. So like I tend to get a lot of comments on my Instagram, but like I kind of check them at the end of the week. Well, I try to check them at least every few days. But if people comment on your stuff, you want to make sure you chat back with them. Again, that has more comments and interaction on your page. And it's just beneficial. You don't want people commenting and then you're never interacting with them. Then the $1.80 rule, which is from Gary Vaynerchuk. He says that you want to leave your 2 cents on the top 9 posts for 10 different hashtags relevant to your brand. I know you're probably like, what? So you pick 10 different hashtags that are relevant to your brand. So let's say you're a vegan yoga mom. So like find really specific hashtags like vegan breakfast recipe or vegan gluten-free or something like that, like really specific. Try to add, I always add little extra things in there to make it a little bit more specific. I always change my food hashtags to like summer breakfast snacks. I don't know, like I get really specific. So pick 10 different hashtags that are relevant to your brand. And then when you go and you search that hashtag and you have the top 9 posts, you can see those top posts, the ones that are the top ones, go into there and leave your 2 cents on those posts. So that's sharing feedback, and not just saying super cute, like interacting with people. Like let's say it's, a yoga mom or somebody who's making a vegan recipe and they're sharing something about a vegan egg salad. I don't know. And you can be like, oh my gosh, like I have made vegan egg salad before. I love making it with mustard and celery seed or something. I don't know, but you're leaving your 2 cents. So you're kind of creating a dialogue in those top 9 posts of that hashtag that's relevant to your brand. And he says, if you do that, and that means if you're doing 2 cents, that's $1.80, a day. If you did that every single day, he says that's how he teaches his clients to build their Instagrams. Like obviously they might be paying people to do that, but you can do that. And if you pick those hashtags and do that, that is going to help 100% build your following. If you want to know what's one thing you can really do to build your Instagram following, it's that. It's the $1.80 strategy. If you want to learn more about it, he has tons of videos on his YouTube. It's the $1.80 strategy, Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks a little bit more about that. What else? I ask a lot of questions in the first caption of my Instagram. So when you're making an Instagram post, when you look at somebody's Instagram and you're scrolling, you only get to see, like I could have like a 20 sentence caption, but people really only see that first sentence. The first sentence has to be engaging. It has to be something that's going to make them, you want to be a storyteller. So I did a call and I could share it with Lauren if she wants to share like in the team page when she shares this call tomorrow. I did a call for my team page about how to be a good storyteller. And in it, I talked about being a storyteller in your caption and saying something that's like, oh my gosh, you will never believe what happened, or let me tell you about this, or something that is like gonna make someone want to click read more. Don't just start it with something simple. I always put the most thought into what my first sentence is going to be. Sometimes I'll make up my entire caption and then type the first sentence at the end. That's going to get someone to stay, watch the video, read the caption, interact more. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. Obviously, you know this, but I'm going to repeat it. You have to be real and raw. A lot of times people tend to get on camera, and I know it tends to be whether you're comfortable or not, which will build up, because I used to be like, terrible on camera, but you want to just be aware. Awareness is the first step. You need to be aware of like kind of how you are. You don't have to be this like super robotic, like, today I had a salad and it was really good. Like, you just be like, think about how you talk with your friends and just talk that way. And like, I probably turn off a lot of people on my Instagram because of how real and raw I am, but that's okay. I don't want them on my page anyway. So I always just think, if you want to think how you can do that without like being robotic, just think like you're talking to your friend. When you pop open that Instagram story and you're recording, just talk like you're talking to your best friend, and you will come off more real and raw and authentic. Stop giving a shit and just share, like whatever it is, whether it's about being vulnerable or you're like, I don't really know if I should share that, and just practice sharing it. Some stuff that I might tell you to share might actually do really well, and other stuff might not. It's going to be different for each person. So just don't care, just share and see what engagement you get. If nobody really interacts, and share it a few times. If nobody really interacts and you don't feel good about it, don't share it. If you're sharing it and you're like, wow, I didn't really expect anybody to really care about that, and they totally did. You never know. I only have a few more things. Stop scrolling. This is huge, but so many of you guys are on Instagram and you're saying that you're spending so much time working your business. And I bet you if I could record your computer screen or your phone screen, you would be like, oh my gosh, I spend so much time just scrolling. I try to never even let myself scroll for fun anymore, because it makes it a habit, and then I end up just like doing it all the time. I really think that so many people are just wasting valuable time scrolling. And if you're going to scroll, double tap so you're liking a lot of stuff, but make sure it's in your category. If you're scrolling and you're double tapping a bunch of other stuff, you will end up only seeing those kind of things. So make sure that you're picking those hashtags, liking those pictures, so that stuff shows up in your feed. Another thing you can do too that's going to help you with your prospects and possibly get your stuff out there a little bit more. I haven't been doing this as consistently, but I was for a bit, and I'm trying to get back into it, is to do a feature Friday. Every Friday, and I announce it in the morning. I'm like, doing a feature Friday today, see who I'm announcing this week. And every week I'll do 5 Instagrams that I've been following that I obviously want to join my team, but I don't say anything about them joining my team. I just say, these are the 5 girls that I've been loving, and I screenshot their Instagram, post it on my Instagram story. You don't have to post it on your page. Post it on my Instagram story and then tag them, and then say like the reason why I love them. Like, I love, so-and-so because she's so real on her page. I love so-and-so because her makeup always looks so perfect. I love so-and-so because she makes the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know, like whatever, like it is what you like about them. Like, I get so many amazing messages back from those people. And then I just continue to build that relationship with them. Because when you do that, a lot of times I do that and then they shout me out on their page. And I always try to throw some people in there that have a bit more followers in there, because then sometimes they screenshot it and shout me out. So just a way that you always want to think, that's why I love the book, The Go-Giver. Always think about what you can give to other people in terms of your social media and doing things for other people, and not worrying about what you can get in return. Another thing Gary Vaynerchuk talks about, and this is not necessarily Instagram related, but you could find people through Instagram this way. Think about think about whatever your brand is, whatever you like to speak about, whether you like to speak about meal prep, and this can be health and fitness, whatever you like to talk about. It does help if it's a little bit more targeted. And go on Google, like for me, for example, PCOS. Let's say you have an eating disorder or something along those lines, like for PCOS or hypothyroidism. You go to Google and say top 20 blogs or top 30 blogs for hypothyroidism, and then reach out to those blogs and say, hey, I would love to write a piece for your page. Because people who have blogs and have YouTube channels and things like that, they're always looking for content, because it takes effort to create content. And you never know who's going to say yes. What's the worst they're going to say? Not answer you or just say no. Your life goes on and you're fine. But if you could write a post about how you changed your life with, hypothyroidism, or you changed your life with an eating disorder, and you share your story on somebody's blog. Those are the things that get you active on the newsfeed versus you just saying, man, I really wish my Instagram would grow, and you don't do anything. You have to be active in your journey to grow your Instagram, and not just like a few pictures. Like that's going to help, but you really have to try to think outside the box, and it does take extra effort, but it's so worth it. I'm going to be honest, like having a higher follower, you doesn't mean you have to have it to be successful. Not what I'm saying at all. I built my business to where it was without a big Instagram. But recently, in the past year, having more followers has helped me with a lot of things. I'm just honest. But you can be successful without it, but it does help. So it is something, and the reason why I'm saying it is just because it is worth it to work on it, because it does help, but you still got to put in the work, if that makes sense. So that's really all I have. I know it was kind of just a bunch of things, but I really didn't know how else to kind of put it together but I'm like a bunch of things person. I just like ramble on. So hopefully
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have one question for you, so I guess I'll start with that. And then if anyone else has questions, type in the chat box and let us know, or unmute. So Alexis, I know you showed me how to do this already, but like I swear it disappeared since the last time I did it because I can't see it. But how do you see when you do a poll, the archive of the poll, so that like you can see the poll after the 24 hours? I just found it. It's in the button archive. I was pressing the wrong.
Yeah, you have to go to your page. You have to click the clock. Then you click the story, and then you swipe up. So if you've done a poll in the past, you can see the past voters. I know a lot of people are like, crap, the poll disappeared. You could go back from 17 weeks ago and see who answered. And that's what I usually always do. That's why I do so many polls. And then at the end of the week, literally, it's actually written in my planner right now. I say check polls, and then I screenshot them. And then I like, on my iPhone, you can mark up the things. And so like, I'll go to the screenshot, and then I'll mark it up, and I'll scratch out anybody who like I know I'm already talking to, or maybe like I'll write their name down, but like I always just keep the new people there, so then I know to reach out to them. But yeah, you can, I'm glad you said that. You can definitely check old polls to see who voted on them.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that until you told me that, and it's been, I don't know, I just forgot that it's like one button over. I was pressing the lines, the little stat bar thing, and I was like, I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, it's the clock. I still get confused by it. Lauren, wait, you said, do you rotate the location on your stories too? You mean like different places, like the kind of places that I'm using?
Yeah, well, just like, I don't know, like from Philly to Miami, like
yeah, I'll do my on my posts, like on my page I won't, because that's a little like I'm not going to do like Denver on there if I'm not actually there, but on my stories I will. I just do pick, sometimes I'll just type a few letters and see what pops up. Like I just like do random stuff just so I can, because I never know, you could pop up into somebody's Instagram story and it's that one person that sees your page, they end up joining your team, and they end up becoming a top 10 coach. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just always just doing the most random things to see what's there.
Jordan, so you press the archive button. So it's, if you're in your profile, come on.
Here, I can share. Yeah, I can share my screen if you need me to.
It's the top button in the
clock on the right-hand side. Click the clock, and then click whatever story the poll is in, and then swipe up. The other thing about it too is that you can also like do that on any of the stories. So if you swipe up, you can also see who views them. So I don't know if you guys message people that view your post, but the order that it shows are the people that basically are kind of like your stalkers. So I'd say like the top 20 people are the people that are always looking at your stuff. So you can know, oh my gosh, this person's always looking at my stuff and they've never reached out to me. You can reach out to them and say, girl, like I just like was looking through my Instagram, and you can I always like make up some little story. I'm like, I was going through my Instagram story, like trying to find this old post, and I saw your name pop up a bunch of times. So I saw that you've like been seeing my stuff. I would love to connect with you. Like, I don't know if you know what I do, blah, blah, blah. Like there's always a way that you could reach out to people. You just got to be creative.
Yeah. And typically what I do with those people that look at my posts is I 5-3-1 them, where I go and I like 5 photos, I comment on 3, and then if they have a story, I go and watch their story and direct message.
Yeah. And something else too, because somebody said it and it made me think of it. Said that what is it? They love polls, especially not fitness related ones like picking nails or like hairstyles just to connect. I do that too. Like I did it on a post, but like I could use the example if I did it for Ned. But like if I did something about Ned, like he's an English bulldog, I could do like, do you feed your bulldog like, grain-free food or not? And then the people who vote, I could literally reach out to them and be like, hey, I saw that you voted and said you use grain-free, food. Like, do you know any grain-free dog brands that you like to use for treats for your dog, and just like start a conversation like that. But those are such easy ways that like people just give you. You don't have to spend the time looking for people. They're right there in your polls. They're right there in your views. You can just reach out to them. And Lauren, what do you mean my explore page is so different than mine? Like the stuff that it's showing?
Yeah,
Like the
you're all memes and like music stuff. So like you can tell that you like a lot of memes and music stuff when you're scrolling things. Because let me tell you, I don't have any memes in my explore.
Oh yeah, I love memes. That's like when I scroll, it's and Pat. I think it also has to do with the fact that Pat and I just send memes back and forth to each other all the time anyway. So
yeah, I don't know. Mine's really random. I mean, mine is not very good. It's not populated to what I actually like. So I clearly need to be better about liking my content.
mine shows me a lot. It's annoying because it shows me a lot of Zumba stuff, but I think it's just because I do like the like shuffling and dancing and stuff. But it shows me Zumba, and like if there's ever stuff in your explore page that you don't want to see, you can click a button that says like it's on the right hand side, or you tap it and it says see fewer posts like this. And I always hit that if it's like not stuff I want to see. I see a lot of barber stuff too, like not women, like male barber stuff. Like I don't even understand it, and then I end up watching it because it's just on my page, and then I watch it more, and then it just thinks I want to see it. I'm like, no, I don't want to see some dude cutting some other dude's hair.
I'm doing this right now because like there's so many freaking Beachbody coaches that I don't follow in my explore tab, and I don't even know.
Yeah, I will like sometimes block people. Not that I don't want to see them, but I will just remove them so they don't pop up in my feed.
I just did fewer posts like that. I didn't even know you could do that. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like there's any questions. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here, but stay on because we'll do a post call giveaway, and I want to take a picture really quick. So don't go anywhere, people.